Liz. I want to thank everyone who helped to plan this service, and I want to thank you all for gathering. I know it's been a challenging week. We've had weather events. It's the last weekend before Christmas. So to be with you all in community today is truly a gift, and I'm going to try and look over at you all too, but know that I feel you over there, and I'm not forgetting about you. We also know that there are people that couldn't make it today, so we are recording this service, and I'm really grateful for technology so that we can include everyone who loved Liz. Couple notes of hospitality. Again, all of the things you need to stay warm. In that corner, beverages over here, restrooms out back. One of the restrooms is labeled ADA. We want you to respect that, not only so it's available for people who need it, but also that particular restroom uses 4 times the amount of water that the other ones do. And Liz would have wanted us to conserve water and do the right thing. So everybody do the right thing and use the correct bathroom back there. The ADA says there's a key, but there isn't, so just pretend that sign's not there. All right, great. Lastly, afterwards, we're gonna light the campfire so that more sharing and stories can be told around the campfire. So please head out there. If that's too much for you because it's raining or whatever, this space will also be available, and we have games and a beautiful photo area over here. So if you just need some Christmas photos, please go take part. So with the hospitality out of the way, let's begin the service of reflection and celebration. If I don't hear some laughing today, I'm going to be highly disappointed in all of you and wonder how you became friends with Liz. Thank you. We can all agree that Liz's departure from this world was simply too soon. The loss we feel is heavy, and at times it can feel like too much. However, to gather together, to share, support, and uplift each other is one of the most beautiful things that we can do in her honor. After all, wasn't Liz the first one to reach out when she knew someone needed support? So she was the example for how we should be with each other today. Our service is going to be a time of sharing and receiving. Like I already said, Liz was not a formal and traditional kind of person. And that's not to say that she didn't want to mark significant moments in time or in people's lives, but she wouldn't have wanted a big fuss made over her. So in that spirit, we have intentionally designed this as a community gathering. We've invited some people to share with us now during this time. There's not going to be an open mic, so please think of this as a little teaser and sampler platter of what's to come as we share our meal together and play games together. We just want this to be like a storytelling session. Leave with all of the good stories. And like I said before, if the campfire isn't cooperating weather-wise, we'll just stay in this cozy space together. I have no doubt that Liz would have been over the moon delighted at the people gathered in this room together. I want you all to be brave today and be willing to be a little bit awkward, and that means invite people into your table and to share the meal with you. Invite people to share stories. Introduce yourself. Don't wait for someone to ask you what your name is. One of the best ways that we can bring Liz into this space is to tap into that mutual connection that we already have established through her. And Liz already vetted everyone in this room, so there you go. And with the laughter thing, okay, this is really cheesy, but that's who I am, so I'm gonna do it. At Christmas, I'm sure a lot of people have heard, every time a bell rings, okay, so people on this side of the room have heard, I'll say it in the mic, because you don't. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings. Well, today I'm gonna say that anytime we provoke laughter in one another, Liz lives on and her wings get a little fluffed. So let's fluff her wings today. While preparing for this celebration, I was able to connect with close friends and family to get a better sense of who Liz was to them. 3 things consistently came up in all of my conversations. 1, Liz valued authenticity. 2, she was generous. 3, she had a spark for life that gave her the ability to carry light wherever she went. As many of you know, Elizabeth was born the daughter of a chaplain in the military, so the family lived in several states and even spent some years in Japan. She was a good kid and a good student, and her parents report she was always adorable. Her strong-willed spirit developed early in life. She had her own feelings, her own voice, and she hated the word no. If she got an idea in her brain, she was determined to see it through no matter what. I'm told as a child, if she was caught doing something, she would often just diffuse the situation by giving a little grin. Have any of you seen that grin? You know. I want to highlight some things that were shared with me. So during that time in elementary school, when the family moved to Okinawa, she learned to play a stringed instrument. I hope I say it right. I believe it's called the koto. Yeah, it's a very cool instrument. Look it up. And I was impressed to think, wow, she was doing that at such a young age. She also was able to pick up reading and speaking the language much quicker than anticipated, which proved very helpful when she would help read street signs and do some translating as they were out and about. They were back in the States for about 2 years before they moved back to Washington. They started in Everett, where she played flute with the school marching band. I'm sure you saw some pictures of her with her flute. And it was through the school band that she had the opportunity to travel to Australia. And then she did it was for a competition. And she did what any responsible human would do, and she tacked on a trip to New Zealand. I mean, if you're there, you might as well. To make the trip financially possible, she would go from Squim to Key Arena to work concession stands during, ready for this, Sonic basketball games. The long drive from Squim, which included a ferry boat ride, allowed for a deep connection on those drives. Good memories were made. It was in Squim where she met lifelong friends and graduated from Squim High School. If you don't know, although I'm sure you know because you're friends with Liz, Squim is a very small town. And weekends don't typically come with a lot of offerings of excitement like in the city. So she embraced the small town life and enjoyed driving with her friends, listening to albums, and they would just sing their hearts out as they would cruise the local highways and often swing through Safeway multiple times a night just to see who else was hanging out. Very Squim. This was also when friends leaned into Liz's sense of adventure, as she loved nature and would invite others for walks in the woods, even if it was already dark out. As early as high school, she had a carefree vibe that was tied to her worldliness and confidence, because keep in mind, she's lived overseas. Her hair was long, brown, curly, and beautiful, and I'm told people envied her high school hair game. Right out of high school, she was married and moved out of Squim. One friend told me that in high school, Liz was whimsical and a little rebellious, and then she went on to full-on adulting. She was married and had a job and wanted to start a family, and while this friend couldn't fully relate, she never felt judged by Liz for being in a different place in her life. As Liz grew into being an adult, her desire to offer generous support and show up for people just intensified. Is anyone here part of the badass group of moms? There's a network I'm told of. Okay, well, I believe that they're going to be watching the service later. When I asked about this group, I was told that this was a group of moms who supported each other through everything. They were movers and shakers, so it's no wonder that Liz was in the thick of it all. One of the ways that Liz would show up for people she loved was literally on wheels, because so many memories involved driving. from cruising around in high school to shoving me, and there were 5 of us total, with 2 inflatable stand-up paddle boards, 1 2-person inflatable kayak, and 1 regular inflatable kayak, and all of our gear. We just shoved it all into her car so that we could go do some night kayaking and experience the bioluminescence out here in Puget Sound. She also would drive her son around, and Joel just knew that those were lovely times where they could have some one-on-one connection. Her mother, Kay, also talked about how it really meant a lot that when she was no longer able to drive, she was able to carry on this tradition of grandma trips. She wanted to do special trips with each grandchild, and Liz packed up the car and took them along the Oregon coast down to California, and that was really special to make sure that that experience could happen for everybody. She also had some magic wand that allowed her to just make time for people. She wasn't going to miss seeing Jonas graduate from boot camp, but not only did she go to that, but she made sure to spend some extra time there as well, which wasn't necessarily easy given all of the things that she juggled. She also took time recently to travel with Jules to celebrate her graduation from high school, and among many highlights was being able to connect with family and a friend while on that trip. I think we can all say with confidence that the way that Liz mothered was truly admirable. She deeply loved her kids, and they were her absolute priority. She made sure their needs were met by providing nourishing meals, clothes, and also making sure that they had other care, like dental care. The kids share that she was a funny, sassy, and hilarious mother. Shocking, no, not at all. She had little buttons that the kids could push if they wanted to get a reaction from her, such as she hated drinking water that had been shaken. Flat water, regular water, if you were to shake it in front of her, she would go and dump it out and refill it. So Jana used that as an opportunity to, tease her mom and play little games and shake it whenever she could. There were also tea parties in the playroom that could involve the entire family, complete with little tea sandwiches. She was also very sweet, sensitive, and insightful. Joel has early memories of her singing to them at bedtime, which continued up until about 7th grade. She taught them to honor and respect adults and to not talk back. The kids recalled her generosity for all of the things she did for them, especially at birthdays and Christmas, but acknowledging that it wasn't just those specific important dates. Beyond us knowing the things that she did, we see evidence of how she mothered by the way her kids are living their lives. When I asked Joel if he had anything he wished he could say to her, he told me he didn't, because he felt like everything he needed to say was said in their last conversation. She had broken her foot, and he was spending the day helping her. At the end of the day, she shared her appreciation of him, for him, and the help that he offered. And do you know what he responded with? How much he enjoyed getting to help her and have that time together. How beautiful is that? She's thanking him, he's thanking her, everyone's just thanking each other, now we're over. And when I asked people what they wanted the world to remember about Liz, here's what I heard. Liz surrounded herself with people who were unapologetic about who they were, especially if they were deemed outcasts by the rest of society, because she wasn't daunted by what others thought. She valued honesty and was quick to point out if someone was being hypocritical, not to be judgy, but just to help them kind of understand, give that reflection. She enjoyed cooking and would even give recipes to friends that didn't grow up in families that had parents that cooked regularly. Many people appreciated the way that she would notice things that other people didn't. Her eye could just catch things, and it would either result in a laugh or an eye roll. She she also had a desire to help as much as she could. She was a helper. And something I really appreciate is she had the ability to change her mind as she gained information and had new experiences. And I think this is tied back to her being honest and authentic. She was not the same person she was as a child, as a high schooler, or even 10 years ago. However, through it all, she remained true to herself. And in doing so, she made space for others to be true to who they were. And that's a gift. She valued people following their hearts and dreams and applying themselves. She loved when people would become experts at whatever they were working towards. You know, we saw this in her mastering cooking and baking gluten-free. And her skills in the kitchen, if you haven't been on Facebook to see the video of her making frosting blindfolded after spinning around a bunch, this woman could separate the whites from the yolks of an egg blindfolded. Like, what? What? Also, watch the video because it has her vibe. Like, if you just want to revisit that, that video has it. She carried sparkle wherever she went, and her light would shine through no matter what. Didn't matter the environment or the people, her light would shine. And most of all, she wanted people to know that they mattered. She wanted people to know that they mattered. So if you have ever felt like you were cared for or valued or mattered just because of the way Liz treated you or the things that she did, I invite you to put a hand over your heart right now. And with your other hand, go ahead and extend a palm. This is our symbol of holding her love while also allowing ourselves to become a conductor, an extender of that love for others. So let's just take a moment to bask in that love. Liz, we thank you for your love. We thank you for the guidance you have provided us and your continued support in our lives. Help us to love, persevere, and adventure through life with curiosity the way that you did. Thank you, Liz. Well, now we're going to move into a time from sharing. We're going to start with some people who have lived under the same roof, and then we'll kind of cast out from there to close friends, people she worked with. Everyone that will be speaking today is already here in the program, so I'm not going to introduce each person. But yeah, we are going to start with her partner, Glenn. Thank you. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yes. If I would follow the program. Okay, people told me Liz didn't want perfection, so there we go. Okay, I would like to invite Rebekah up. And Rebekah is going to read Liz's obituary. You gotta dance your way up. There you go. Yep. Oh.
Too many of you out there, so I feel very awkward. This sounded better in my brain when we were talking about what we were going to do, but now that you're all out there, okay, I changed my mind. Just joking. Can you hear me? Line of help. Line of help. Somebody help. I don't know. That's out of my pay grade. Thanks. I'm also short. Yeah, thank you. Okay, if you didn't hear me, I said that when we were planning this, I thought this was a better idea than it is actually standing up here in front of all of you. So, thank you for your patience. she's gonna love or hate. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So Elizabeth Grace Willoughby, known most simply as Liz, it's up to me, she was my sissy. She left this world unexpectedly on August 1st, 2025. In the comfort of her home. Born in Salem, Oregon, Liz spent her childhood as an Air Force kid, collecting stories, friends, and postcards from around the world before returning to the Pacific Northwest, where she grew into the flannel-wearing, trail-seeking, Doc-Martens-stomping teenager everyone adored, and also caused all sorts of problems. I was the good kid. She was the bad kid. I could do no wrong. Liz had a gift for finding beauty in the ordinary, a walk in the woods, a thrift store treasure. If you know me, I'm not allowed to go into thrift stores or Goodwill, I'm allergic to them. A cozy cup of coffee or a perfectly timed joke. She loved the outdoors, rainy days, and any excuse to throw on her favorite flannel. As she grew older, she also discovered a new joy, wine tasting with her sister, Rebekah. Oh, that's me. We shared afternoons together, exploring vineyards, laughing over charcuterie boards, always gluten-free, and turning every tasting room into a place of sisterly storytelling and inside jokes. Those moments were among Liz's happiest, and they strengthened a bond that shaped both of their lives. And that's where we revived the secret sister handshake that we had not used in a lot of years. I can't show you, it's a secret.
Thanks.
What?
I wanted to see it.
No, it is a secret sister handshake. Sorry, we told all of our secrets and revived that from when we were little. Her greatest pride and joy was being a mother. She poured her love, creativity, and strength into her 4 children. Jonas, Julianne, Jana, and Joel. The 4 J's. They were her heart, her purpose, and the stories she loved to tell. For the last 7 years, Liz shared her life with her partner Glenn, whom she built a home full of warmth, banter, laugh, and the kind of everyday love that feels like a soft place to land. Liz is survived by her mother, Kay Spingath, her parents, Stephanie Stockton, her sister, Rebekah Bailey, her children, Jonas Franklin, Julianne Lita, Jana Lorraine, and Joel Jamison Willoughby. Her partner, Glenn, and I can never say his last name correctly. Thank you, Alkenberg. I don't know, I struggle. Sorry, Glenn. And the children's father, Wesley Willoughby. She also leaves behind many other friends and family members who cherished her deep compassion, quick wit, and unshakable authenticity. Liz's life was a patchwork of adventure, humor, tenderness, and Pacific Northwest grit. She remembered her spirit, her kindness, and the way she made everyone around her feel so seen and loved. Her story lives on in the people she shaped, the memories she made, the trails, and the tasting rooms she walked.
And now we will hear from people who lived under the same roof as her.
Yeah, thank you. This is going to be really hard for me. But I'm going to do my best. Sometimes I feel like I don't have a partner. Sometimes I feel like my only friend is the city I live in, the city of angels. Lonely as I am, together we cry. I drive on her streets because she's my companion. I walk through her hills because she knows who I am. She sees my good deeds and she kisses me windy. Well, I never worry, now that is a lie. I don't want to feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. Those are Red Hot Chili Pepper lyrics. The song is called Under the Bridge. And it's one of two songs that I start most karaoke sessions with. Just like the one on October 6th, 2018, the night that I met Elizabeth. It was at a karaoke bar in Redmond called Palmer's East. And I had just moved to Kirkland recently and went out for a night on the town just by myself. And I ended up at Palmer's. And that's where she was that night with her friend Tiffany. They were out for a girls' night. And I walked in and there was just this beautiful blonde in the center of the bar. And, I gravitated right towards her. And I had sang my couple of songs and I was in line at the bar and I got a tap on my shoulder and I turned around and it was her. And she said, "You stole my song." I never heard her sing that song once. And that was it. We were officially dating just 1 month later on November 6th. And she gave me the best years that I ever had. I know I don't want to get too sad, but I wrote a poem, and it's just going to really do me some good to get it said out loud. And so just bear with me. It's called I Miss You, I Love You, and I'm Sorry. I miss your laugh, I miss your smile, I miss the way you loved me. I miss your hugs, I miss your smell, I miss the sense of carefree. I miss our talks, I miss our walks, I miss the gaze of your eyes. I miss you, Elizabeth, I love you, and I'm sorry. Months have passed, I miss you. Months have passed, I love you. Months have passed, and I'm sorry. Your side of the bed is empty, I miss you. I rest my head upon your pillow now, I love you. You're not there to hold in my arms, and I'm sorry. I miss you, I love you, and I'm sorry. I keep repeating these three phrases all day long as my days. I say it out loud, and I say it through tears. And I think I'll be saying it for many more years. I miss you. I love you more than words can say. There are no words to quite convey. And I'm sorry. A long life together, that's what we should have had. Walking hand in hand through the good, through the bad. A trip through the English countryside, a cottage by the sea, so many different things I thought were meant to be. I miss you, Elizabeth. I love you, and I'm sorry. Again, I say these words quite often. It's untowardly. I see a sight or inhale a scent that causes tears to unbend. My voice breaks, my chin shakes, I cannot hold it in. My breath it takes, the grief awakes, howling ever louder. I miss you, Elizabeth. I love you, and I'm sorry. So many things left unsaid. I miss you. So many feelings. I love you. There is no going back, and I'm sorry. I always loved you, Elizabeth. I do love you, Elizabeth. I will always love you, Elizabeth. 3 phrases on repeat all day long until I can sleep. I miss you. I love you. And I'm sorry. I just needed to get that one out. I don't even know. There's a lot unspoken there, and I needed to get that out. I have a book here that Elizabeth journaled in. Kids may recognize it. She wrote a lot of positive affirmation type stuff. She would often give it to the kids, her friends to write in as well. Flip to a page, write something. She started the book on December 17th, 2016. And I just wanted to share some of the things in it with you today. This is a quote that she wrote down by Frederick Buechner. He said, "One life on this earth is all we get. Whether it is enough or not enough, and the obvious conclusion would seem to be that at the very least, we are fools if we do not live it as fully and bravely and beautifully as we can." Quote by Mark Anthony. "And one day, she discovered that she was fierce and strong and full of fire, and that not even she could hold herself back because her passion burned brighter than her fears." Always love truly, madly, and deeply, no matter what. It's okay. You are allowed to have emotions. It's okay. You are allowed to cry. Trust in yourself, in others, in perfect timing, in the universe, in your dreams, in your goals, in the decision-making process, in your beliefs. This was a bulleted list under a title called Passion for Life. Live joyously. No regrets. Love others without boundaries. Enjoy the tiny moments. Remember the kisses. Feel everything, even if it might hurt in the end. Expect the universe to provide. Visualize your needs. Get dirty, be dirty. Get lost in the beauty of the earth. Respect your needs and allow them to be fulfilled. In the last section that I wanted to read in this book, well, this is just her writing. Being a mom is one of the single hardest yet most fulfilling job a woman can ever do. I love my kids so much, equally, each and every one of them. I breathe their names daily in love from my lips. I stare at their pictures on my computer all day at work. I love their touch and the way they look at me with trust in their eyes, because they know I take care of them and keep them safe. They are my everyday life, and I am so glad my life has been fully enriched by their presence. I gave birth to them. They are mine, and no one can take that away from me. My kids are my security and family. And this last page here was written on Valentine's Day, 2017. My beautiful children are the most precious beings in my entire life. They are truly a gift to me in this tough world full of emotion and the lack of love. Each and every day they are in my life, they fill it with love and warmth and care for me. These are my thoughts on each child for tonight. Jonas. Recently, he has been showing much interest in wanting to hang out with me and talk to me, and I love every minute of our alone time we get together. We laugh so much and talk about anything and everything. I adore his honesty with me, and his wit, and his depth and intelligence. Tonight, I loved it how he showed me love by helping me around the house when I asked. When he came and sat at the family dinner table, even though he wasn't hungry. And he grinned and laughed and made eye contact with me at the cheesy card I gave him. Julianne. She just wants to be loved and showed attention and have life go smoothly without drama. Each day I look at her and see her complete beauty and fall in love with her spunk and lust for living a great and full life. She loves wholly and deeply, but quietly, but has no problem speaking up when she wants or needs something. She was the only one to get packs of watermelon gum in her Valentine treat bag from me, and I could tell she was appreciative that she got something special that none of the other kids got in their bags. Jana, my special, special girl, my obstinate, carefree, amazingly beautiful, long, dark-haired beauty. She didn't go to school today because she got suspended yesterday. Who gets suspended in kindergarten? She was very calm tonight and made sure to seek me out in order to tell me one of her very long, crazy stories. She had me read her card to her that I gave her, and she got this huge grin on her face and told me, "I love you, Mommy." My heart just melts with each expression of love. Joel, he was the first one to open his card and was very eager for me to read it to him. He is so outgoing with his love and adoration. As soon as I read him his card, he wrapped his arms around me in a tight hug. He said, "Mommy, I love you so much. This was the best Valentine's Day to date." And finally, I'd like to wrap up with something special. Jana brought me this on Monday morning. And I figured it was appropriate for the season. She recorded this for her children. And I'd like to share it with you all today. And we'll have Elizabeth read us a Christmas poem here.
The Night Before Christmas. This book is a gift for my darling children, Jonas, Julianne, Jana, and Joel, and is read to you by me, your mom. Merry Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mama in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down for a long winter's nap. When out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. Then what to my wondering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer? With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall, now dash away, all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with the sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came in with a bound. He was dressed in all fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon led me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim as he drove out of sight, "Merry Christmas to all, and to all a good night."
Let's give her a round of applause. I miss her. I miss her a lot. It's the hardest thing that I've ever had to endure. And I just want to thank her children, Jonas and Julianne, Jana and Joel. You guys are, you're what's getting me through this right now. And so I just want to let you know that I love you. And I want to thank you, everyone, for being here today. It's really nice to see that she had so many people that loved her. We lost a sister, we lost a mother, we lost an aunt, we lost a niece, we lost a friend. I lost my loving partner, and I miss her every day. There are pictures throughout the room, in frames on the table, out in the bar. If there's a picture of you, of her, or one that just speaks to you, please feel free to take it with you when you leave. Leave the loose photos behind, but anything in a frame. If it means something to you, please take it home with you. Thank you.
So now we'll hear from Jonas, and then Jewel will be next. Okay.
I don't know about you guys, but I actually don't know what a sugar plum is. That's one thing though, is my mom had a plum tree in her yard for many years. I think it got cut down eventually, but I don't like plums. Yeah. But thank you for family, friends, people I've committed crimes with. You know, I'm sure all the people my mom worked with are raising their eyebrows right now. But I just kind of need to know, because there's actually a lot of faces in here I do not recognize. So if you worked with my mother, please raise your hand. Okay. All right. Just wanted to clear that up. I know I've probably over the years I've met a couple of you when I came down to Seattle to visit my mom. Also, one thing I'd like to clarify that Lila said, I did not go to boot camp. That is for Marines. I'm in the Army, in Rebekah, and that's called basic training. And Lila also said another thing. Sorry, I'm gonna attack you a little bit here, but apparently one of my mom's, one of the things that she didn't like to say no. Well, when I was growing up and I wanted Pop-Tarts all the time, she would definitely tell me no. So that made me upset, you know, especially when Jules was given a Pop-Tart and I wasn't. I think one of the funniest things is she would always funniest things was she hated when I would drink straight from the faucet of the sink. Because I'd come in after football practice, or that was when I was a bit younger, but even when I ended up living under a roof when I was a full-grown adult, I'd come inside, and it was normally on a Friday night, because every Friday night, promised meal, She's like, it's part of the deal of living here. You get a promised meal at least every Friday night. So I looked forward to that, right? But I'd come in, just straight up, faucet's here, mouth here. Great lead water, by the way. That's one thing that was said. Yeah, I think I can't remember if it was said by Lyra or Glenn, how she used to sing to us. And I definitely remember as a kid, and even into adult years, I'm pretty sure the last time she sang it to me, I think I was visiting from the Army or something like that. And she always sang, "You Are My Sunshine." And it was great. It's one thing that stuck in my head, kind of like just something that stuck in my head, I guess. Authenticity. My mom loved authenticity from everybody. And she was very real herself. Now, my version of being authentic is a little bit more vulgar, unconventional, but we'll talk about that later. And when it came to cooking, my mom told me many times growing up, she was like, you gotta learn how to bake, you gotta learn how to cook, and because one day you might end up with a wife who doesn't know how to do that. For hours and hours, we'd sit and we'd watch Chopped, we'd watch Worst Cooks in America. And I'm 10 years old, 12 years old, and I'm watching these Worst Cooks in America show, and I'm like, wow, these people suck. And I'm like, they threw cheese on a grill, no bread, and we're trying to make grilled cheese. And I'm like, okay, I'm not that stupid, And I'm almost like, but one thing that she was known for was her phenomenal gluten-free recipes that I found questionable. But the gluten-free pumpkin bread was the most amazing thing of bread. As far as, it was amazing. Better than regular pumpkin bread, I'd say. Yeah. Dash over here real quick. Before I start my words for my mom, that's what she was to me. She was my mom. And the story behind why I call her Ma and not Mom, it's kind of funny. I don't know if you guys have ever seen Lion King 1.5, but Timon is going out on his journey to go, do whatever, find, beyond what he sees or something like that. And the entire time when he was leaving the, dig a tunnel type thing, right? His ma was yelling at him the whole time, saying, watch out for, hyenas and lions, and, and she just kept saying things. And he's like, got it, Ma. I got it, Ma. Happened for about 10 times. And that's where I got it from, was Timon, because it was just like, and at some point, he's just like, if she said a whole bunch of things, watch out for this, watch out for that, don't eat weird things that you see on the ground or whatever. And he's like, goodbye, Ma, and it was just like that sarcastic way. But to me, she was my Ma, And, but before I start my words on my Ma, I just want to say that there has been many things said over the years about my Ma and my father. In this moment, I will tell you that the truth is almost what none of you know. The real truth is that I've realized with my family, there is no right or wrong. It is pure loyalty on blood. And it is simply this: through everything that has ever happened is over. It is in the past, and the past is no longer my concern. There are no regrets, no anger, no ill-conceived notions toward my parents, and I promote the idea that all of you do the same. On to the main event. Over the last 5 years of my life, I've done my best to improve my relationships with my parents. Very rocky in my teenage years, being who I am. I was an annoying teenager, doing stupid things all the time. All my friends were there for that. Whether I influenced that or not, undetermined. My relationship with my mom is the perfect example of that. When I was homeless for an undisclosed amount of time, she found out and she called me and told me that I could move in while I prepare my mind and my body for the army. Even all the times I did not pay rent when I was supposed to. Or she cooked me hot meals when I had nothing to my name every Friday night. Whether it was tater dog recipe, everyone knows that one. Tater dogs, it's like, I don't know if you guys know this, but it's like a tortilla, mashed potatoes, a hot dog, and then like cheese.
And it's the blandest thing ever put in.
It is the best thing ever, all right? Yeah, see? Yes. It's a Spingath recipe, as I recall. And it's not bland, as long as it's with ketchup. She still loved me and took care of me through all of my vulgar jokes about racism, sexism, ableism, anti-Semitism, and all the other isms you could possibly think of. She still loved me and took care of me. No discredit to my father, who has helped me many times as well. But every Friday night, I could look forward to that hot cooked meal from my mom. And nothing is better than food that's cooked with love. Many sandwiches, those were awesome, except the tomatoes. And here's an interesting story. Once upon a time, we're not sure how it happened. I think it had to do with a cast iron pot. But she was trying to make this potato soup. My dad knows this one. She tried to make this potato soup, and she switched it over from, I think, like a steel pot or something like that to a cast iron. And the soup turned gray. Now, it was gray like concrete, but it didn't taste like concrete. So, that was all right. That was a plus. But it was just one of those things that stuck in my head forever. And I was like, and I felt so bad because in the moment, I'm like looking at my dad. I'm like, do I have to eat this? I'm scared, But her cooking was always the best. It really was. Sorry. Tiny text. She would always get on my ass about when I would talk shit about those self-righteous French people that I really don't like. Trying to convince me they are good. Through all of these examples, she still loved me, and I still loved her. While I've been in the Army, she always called me about once a week, and we would spend a couple hours on the phone talking about anything and everything: work, family, my politics, or lame and stupid. I always look forward to those phone calls, and I still do, many times. After a stressful week, my mom would always make me laugh. So many plans we had to go on trips and hikes, to go on together and eat sandwiches at the end of the trail in those beautiful places like Lake 22. So I'm sure we'll see that picture later. and especially loved going to Seahawks games and Mariner games with me and hearing me scream at the top of my lungs for them. And then I'd come back with no voice. Eventually, years ago, I found this peace with my parents, and I realized one of my sole purposes in life was to serve and protect my family and give back to them what they have done for me. And like the famous MLK once said, I had a dream, but this dream was that I'd get this land, and I wanted to retire my parents, both of them, on this land. And I would build them cabins so I could retire my mother, retire my father, get my siblings out there if they want to talk to me or something. I don't know. And there would be a big garden next to my mom's cabin. She loved to garden with her flowers, grow those up, beautiful flowers she always had surrounding her house. Especially loved growing her vegetables, especially those nasty things called tomatoes. And you might say, well, Jonas, wouldn't it be weird to have both of your mom and your dad on the same property, them being split apart? And I say, yes, it would be weird. But that's exactly why my house would go right in between them. So that way, when they look out either of their windows, they don't have to look at each other. They can look at me, because I'm way better to look at anyways. But all this is to serve my family and bring them peace, because they deserve it, and I still believe in this dream, and it will be done. My ma will have her cabin and her garden. I think about her every day, and how she cared for me and loved me. Even when I'm in the field training and shooting my rifle, or I'm on the back of a Chinook helicopter and digging and camouflaging my 6 foot deep foxhole that was really cold and muddy ground, I would ask myself, what if my mom would think this is cool? You know, just sitting in the dirt, you know, playing in the mud, shovel in hand, watching armadillos chase after me. They got leprosy, watch out for those. I remember she was so worried when I joined the Army, saying, no, Jonas, do not go into a combat MOS. Do something that would benefit you in your civilian life after. And of course, me being the rebellious person I am, I chose to go with the infantry. And then I said, it's okay, Mom. I'll always be okay, make it through whatever I'm doing, no matter what it is. I didn't deserve many things that she did for me, but that didn't matter to her because I was her son. And in many ways, I know she was proud of me. I have failed and fallen short many times, and yet she was still there to support me and love me. And that's why I'm proud to call her my mom. I mean, she's just the best there is, plain and simple. I know for a fact she woke up every morning and pissed excellence. For those of you who don't know, that's a Talladega Nights reference. Fun movie, I suggest watching it. And there is cougars out here, so watch out for them. She worked hard and loved her kids in every way. Yes, she loved even the other 3. I love you, Ma. I always will. And I'll see you again one day. Give heaven some hell.
Jonas, thank you so much for sharing. Jules, you ready? All right. Okay, I'm scared because I don't like talking to people. So I'm just going to look that way and not at people. Okay. I'm Julie.
I'm being completely honest, this was the hardest thing I've ever had to write, because I know that no matter what I write down, it will never fully explain the kind of person my mom was, but I can describe a bit. Something about my mom was that she loved to travel. She just wanted to get out and explore the world, eat new foods, visit cool monuments, and share special moments with the people she loved. This summer, my mom and I had the opportunity of going to Belgium and France together for my graduation trip, which opened a door for my love of travel. Since her passing, I realized that I tend to treat my mom's passing as if she just went on a super long vacation and simply forgot to tell me, because she has done that a lot before. She would just leave out of the state and not tell me. And I'd find out on Facebook. The love and care my mom had for me was unmatched. She stood by me through every health issue and hospital visit, every struggle of mine, and she always showed up to every cheer competition to be my own personal cheerleader. My mom had this very special light to her that I've never seen in anybody else. She carried positivity everywhere she went and always made others feel welcomed. The amount of joy she had was just overall unmatched, and she was truly an amazing person inside and out. My entire life, she put my siblings and I first, and always made sure that we felt accepted and loved by her. She never let personal struggles come in the way of being a mother, and she always put us first, even at times where she needed more love and support. My mom and I had a very special bond, and I could never compare to any other bond I've had with anyone else. On August 1st, I didn't just lose my mom, but I also lost my best friend. That day, I remember just bonding with my mom. We played a card game, even though I wasn't feeling well. She's like, "Get your butt up, we're playing a card game." And I'm glad I did. And we played a card game together, and I talked about my excitement for college, and of course friend drama that was going on at the time. We love to gossip. I know every piece of drama, literally everything. So if you don't think I know, I know. I'm so grateful for the mother that I received, and I'll never forget the love and care she had for me and my siblings. I'll also never forget the things I've learned from her. She has taught me to be patient, to be kind, and to be positive even despite difficult times. I hate being positive most of the time, so she used to get mad at me. Through this process of grief, I have tried to hold the attitude that I know my mom would have if she were here. She's taught me so much, and I'm extremely grateful for the love and patience she showed me while I was learning how to grow up. She let me make mistakes and learn from them, and she was always there to pick me up when I fell. And even though she isn't with me now, I am constantly reminded of her love for me. Through the lessons she taught me, the strength she gave me, and the kind of person she raised me to be. I'm so beyond proud to be her daughter, and I will carry her in my heart always and through every step of my life, and I hope all of you will too.
Wonderful job, Jules. Now we have a special video from Sachi. Did I say that right? Perfect.
Hi, my name is Sachiho Katsuramaki. I met Elizabeth in 1995. It was the end of August. I was born and raised in Japan, and I came to the United States in 1995 as an exchange student to Scream High School in Washington. Elizabeth was my host sister I homestayed, and that's how we met each other. We had spent 11 months together. She took me and Rebekah every morning to our school and took us home too. She'd been always right since we were in the same age and the same senior year. I envied her a little, just because I couldn't express my feeling very well at that age. I was looking at the yearbook of Spring High School. This is Elizabeth. She's so beautiful, always. And it just reminded me of the school play at the high school. She played the bride of the father of the bride. I still remember how nervous she was before the first day. I told her, "You can do it." And she did very well. And after I went back to Japan in July 1996, we saw each other more than several times. We had had a great time together for 30 years. That's a long time. We are like sisters, family, and best friends. We know each other very well. And last August, we had a chance to meet up at Rebekah's home, and I was so excited to see her again. But it didn't happen. We should have celebrated the 30th anniversary together though. If I say, "Elizabeth, you missed our 30th anniversary and I was sad and miss you so much," I'm sure that she will say, "Yes, me too, Sachi." I'm sure she will say that. I'm really thankful that we met and have spent a great 30 years together. Thank you. And I also want to show you. This is our graduation day of high school. Really good time. Thank you for listening.
So we've heard from her partner, from her kids, from her sister as well as another sister, and now we're going to move on to friends. Damn it, you were basically sisters. So I'd like to invite Bren up.
Photo right here. Oh, Gatsby, isn't she just gorgeous? And those bright, twinkling eyes. And that hat, I will have you know, she wanted a bright, colorful hat. So there were a few road trips that we took together, and I still hear her to this day as we were driving, well, she was driving, and I was knitting feverishly, trying to get this hat done before we hit the beach. It was not done before we hit the beach because I continuously was dropping my knitting needles, and every single time I would drop my knitting needles, she would need to pull over somewhere so that I could dig it out of the crevice in the door in the car. Oh my God, Bren, again? Every single time. So anyway, you're welcome for that hat. Thank you. Thank you to everybody here in this room for coming together to celebrate our beautiful, beautiful friend this afternoon. For those of you that may not know me, my name is Bren. Elizabeth and I met as clerk colleagues back in King County nearly 15 years ago. I remember in the beginning, I was impressed with the level of conversations that we would share, her drive to quickly become a subject matter expert in everything she did, I swear. It's true, these people here will tell you. And just being super excited to have a fellow newbie clerk that matched my energy and enthusiasm. A few of our kids weren't too very far off in age from one another, so we quickly began getting together outside of work for various events like football game nights at our houses, kids' birthday parties, hot tub hangouts, and that quickly morphed into close friends and confidants. We traversed many challenging life moments together, supporting each other through matters such as divorce, relationship issues, navigating co-parenting, kiddo growing pains. Yes, you guys. And so much more. We were each other's shoulders to literally cry on when life got tough, and always there to lend a listening ear and give hugs. For most of our careers, we actually worked at summer courthouses, but we made a point of meeting up at least once a week to do lunch, to visit, or on warm, sunny days, throw a blanket on the grass out in front of the courthouse and we'd take a nap in the sun together. Sometimes, if we were pinched for time, we'd simply meet up for a really good hug. If you know, you know. She truly gave the best hugs ever. Fun fact, she once shared an article with me about the positive psychological impact of a long hug. Being the huggers that we were, we both wholeheartedly agreed that the findings of a suggested 20-second hug were the most beneficial, with 5 to 10 seconds being semi-adequate. I loved that she was such an eloquent balance between reasonableness and pragmatic, while also super adventurous. She was an incredible problem solver. She had a knack for being the intermediary between me and my husband when we weren't seeing eye to eye. So many times I'd go to her and explain a problem that Jared and I were trying to talk through, or I'd have an ask that I maybe wasn't sure exactly how to approach him about. And she'd say, "Oh, don't you worry about it. I'll talk to Jeremy. You know he listens to me and does whatever I tell him." It's true. It is true. She'd laugh, her infectious laugh. Y'all know. Go talk to him or text him and the problem would be solved. Elizabeth and my husband had a friendship that I really loved and cherished. When she was single momming for a bit, she sometimes had some car trouble, and my husband would tell her to just bring her van over to our place and he'd work on it for her. Oil changes, brake changes, give her a little inspection, figure out whatever it was she needed. And she would bring food over and cook for us as an offering and thank you. It was just a very sweet reciprocal dynamic. That was Elizabeth. We both enjoyed our adventurous weekends, and she would often join us on camping getaways. Some of our best times were winter trips to the ocean. There. Bundled up wandering the beach, coming back to the RV to enjoy a fire, a wine, a cocktail, nice meal, play with puzzles, or sit around the campfire into the night. She never minded being the third wheel. And eventually Glenn came into the picture and was a perfect puzzle piece addition to these trips. Summer weather was always our preferred playtime. I had a few adventures that we were trying to make annual events, like our trip to Schnippfest and Natchez, to enjoy 3 straight days of music and shenanigans, our girls' wine weekends in Yakima, or like just November down to Dundee, Oregon to meet up with her sister. One of our absolute favorite annual trips was our Yakima River float. So, I'll never forget my first float down the river. You know, I was a ball of anxiety, frantically paddling, fearing we were all going to run into the bushes on the side of the river, pop our floaties, and drown. But she and our other friend Nicoletta were cool as cucumbers on the back of that float, insisting not to worry, we were fine. I paddled fiercely, while they paddled not so fiercely. And we made it safely out of the river because of me. After having a boat come grab us because we missed our exit point. But that is just one example of how we balanced our friendship. We took turns being the calm and collected one, maybe a little toasted one, while the other needed a little more reassurance. She was a magnet for playtime on the water, on a beach, on a hike, or just sky gazing by a campfire. Another one of the many reasons we were kindred spirits. We enjoyed concerts and music festivals together. Still can't go to them without thinking about her. Nights out dressing up in 80s and 90s dance party attire and just living it up. Times like those always prompted her infectious laugh and these sparkling eyes that will forever stay clearly etched in my mind. Oh, she loved the people in her life immensely. Her sister, her parents, and her children. And Glenn. She spent the last 7 years enjoying adventures, traveling, music, and art together with Glenn, you, the kids. She loved what you all put together through all the triumphs and tribulations, and I'm so thankful she brought you into our lives. You will always be our family. Elizabeth was a strong and most of the time independent woman, but most of all, super mom. Jonas, Julianne, Jana, and Joel, of course. J1, J2, J3, and J4, of course. You guys were absolutely her joy, as you've heard, and one of her biggest motivators for success in life. She wanted to be a fierce example of work hard, play hard. I think you guys got that picture. She talked endlessly of the fun outings around town and adventures you'd go on, and they were always such the highlights for her and made her smile. She was so incredibly proud of you, Jonas, and your journey out into the teenage years, into the military. She was super excited for your next chapter, Julia. Heading away to college, and she was so proud to see your spirit shine through your cheer. She was equally as thrilled to see you, Jana, flourishing in those middle school years, high school now, I know, and finding your groove in track and field, now on a high school. She always talked affectionately about you, Joel, and how much she enjoyed your enthusiasm and going adventuring with her. I know that she would watch over you all. She will always watch over you all. She is always going to be your light, your guidance. Through all of life's journeys, don't ever, ever, ever stop talking to her, because she is listening. How do you find the words to define one of your best and closest friends? I have grappled 1,000 times with finding adequate words to define Elizabeth and the friendship that we share. It still feels woefully short. Would it be an adjective like adventurous, passionate, or bright? She was all those things. Would it be through the sharing of our stories and experiences, such as the ones I briefly touched upon here? I've reflected with others since her passing, and one of the most profound observations was how she had the ability to hold sacred space and treasured friendships with so many of you here. And I'm sure countless others. It has been such a sweet gift to observe, to see how many people that she treasured in her rich and vibrant life, and how many equally treasured their moments with her. So I'll leave you with this. Our sweet, kind, sometimes enigmatic Liz is an essence, a vibe, if you will. To me, Liz will always be light. She is positive energy, love and acceptance, and she is optimism. Okay, most of the time. My beautiful friend, although you are now a world away, you are still the same. We know you by your heart, and we will always see you. Thank you.
And when you work somewhere as long as Liz did, your work crew becomes your family, right? So we want to hear from Catherine, who got to work with Liz, and hear a little bit about that experience.
Thank you. So I'm here on behalf of everybody in the clerk's office, in the court. No clerk face here. So I'll just say I'm the clerk, the director. Elizabeth was our executive assistant. So on paper, one might think that Elizabeth reported to me, but I think you all know that I reported to Elizabeth. So I'm going to take off my coat to show that I am wearing flannel at her direction. She had a way of just giving me a look when I was not kind of following the plan to get me back on track. But one thing I'll say, I think first and last thing I want to say is, I think all of us at work kind of felt like we knew Jonas, Jules, and Janet, and Joel, and how much she loved you. And everybody has shared that. It's also been great. Elizabeth was her same authentic self at work with all of us. I swore I was gonna sound so much calmer than some of the other people on here, and clearly not at all. So she just touched so many of us, and I want to share a little bit about her work life. So for me personally, she was one of the very first people I got to know when I joined the department 4 years ago. And in many ways, she just taught me so many things, so from how to fill out my time card, to make sure if I was taking leave, Catherine, just do it right then, to the wonders of local rules, court rules. She was a real expert in both of those. And not only did I rely on her, judges relied on her. She was a real expert. I want to say I really admired Elizabeth's commitment to equity and social justice. So she did so much to improve language access, making sure that on our website we were translating into the top common languages. She worked so hard on ADA accommodations for our customers. She was instrumental. We did a project to remodel our front office to make it more welcoming, and she was really instrumental in putting it so it's confusing. You're coming in, our terminology super confusing, using a combination of color and lighting to help people navigate and feel at ease from the moment they walked in. And I think that's just, that's a symbol of who she is. She was always seeking ways to challenge herself. So she worked on legislation. There was significant legislation a couple years ago that changed how civil protection orders were handled in the court and in our office, and she was the project manager and absolutely key to, and it involved a lot of changes to making sure that we were implementing that correctly. She took on SharePoint and was a master in that. She was, right before she passed, starting to become an expert in all things cybersecurity. A colleague made the comment that her role as executive assistant, it is what you make of it, and she truly made the most of that position. Expanding the role, expanding the work, always looking to take on new challenges. And then I'll say, when I took over, she helped redesign my office, and there's a back wall that she picked this vibrant blue. I now think of it every time I look at that wall, it's Elizabeth blue. She had a real flair for design. Her smile and her laugh just brightened all of our days, which so many people have shared with me. And I think this story is so telling. And I think this might be Gina, but I bet it's a lot of people. She was like, I was new to the RJC, I was going in, I was kind of clerking in a courtroom I wasn't familiar with, and Elizabeth had experience there, and she pulled me aside and she told me the key things that they needed to know to make it a success. And she didn't really know me, but Elizabeth just reached out, and that was so Elizabeth, and I see people nodding their heads. So, obviously for all of us, a big hole in our hearts. Sorry. But I know she looks on, and all of you. And then I want to say, we put together some memory books because we just wanted to share at work how much she meant to us. And I want to thank Latasha who put them together. And I want to give them out to the 4Js, and just, I know you all know this, but she loved you and we loved your mom. Okay, it's going the wrong way. Cool.
To get to hear from people that knew Liz in different capacities, and yet everybody knew the same essence of Liz because she just was herself wherever she was. Dare I say the word again? She was authentic. As we conclude this portion of our time together, again, I just want to thank everyone for sharing, everyone for coming, and really thank you to the team that put all of this together. I know you worked so hard to make sure that Liz's wishes would be honored, which is challenging to do when we didn't know that her time was coming. And so we didn't get the chance to have all those very specific conversations. So really well done. Remember, this is a community gathering. So after this, we are going to share food. We've got really yummy food. I'm sure you can smell it. There are a lot of us, so I don't think we all need to rush over there, but I'm not gonna do crowd control either. So, just kind of keep an eye, and when the line looks good, go join it. The campfire will be lit in a little bit. I don't know, the rain sounds like it stopped, but I'm not sure. But whether you're inside or outside, continue to share. Be generous in sharing the way that Liz taught us to be. Make a new friend, have a belly laugh, maybe an eye roll or two, and just be authentically you because she loved you. Even if you came with someone as their person and you didn't necessarily know Liz, she still loved you because you love the person that you came with and she loved them, and this just goes on and on and on. So I want to leave you with one last image. When I asked her friend Kim, what is something that reminds her of Liz, she was quick to tell me about a prism that hangs in her car. And she loves the way that light catches it and its reflection is just captivating. Liz's eyes were kind of like that, right? We've talked about just that sparkle. Well, I want you all to help shine that light, help reflect those beautiful colors. And let's be prisms tonight of Liz's love for this world and for each other.
All right. Share. Let's have some fun. Let's eat some food. Thank you all so much. Enjoy the slides too. I think those will be going throughout the night. So thank you. Oh yeah. Games everywhere. Photo area for Christmassy things. Oh my gosh, so many things. Have fun. Let's have a good time.